Biblical Foundations of Healing. In this lesson, we will explore the biblical foundations of healing and delve into the understanding of our God-given right to be healed. The Bible is filled with accounts of miraculous healing and promises of divine health. By studying these scriptures, we will gain insight into the nature of healing and how it relates to our faith. Throughout the Bible, we see that God desires to bring healing to his people. From the Old Testament to the New Testament, we witness countless examples of physical, emotional, and spiritual healings. These stories serve as reminders of God's love and compassion for his children. By understanding the biblical foundations of healing, we will be empowered to seek and receive divine healing for ourselves and others. Furthermore, this lesson will explore the link between faith and healing. The Bible affirms that faith plays a crucial role in experiencing God's healing power. We will examine the faith of individuals in the Bible who received healing and how their belief in God's ability to heal was instrumental. By learning from their examples, we can strengthen our own faith and activate the power of healing in our lives. Key lesson concepts. Explore the biblical foundations of healing. Understand God's desire for healing in his people. Examine biblical accounts of miraculous healings. Discover the link between faith and healing. Learn from the faith of individuals in the Bible who received healing. Activate the power of healing through faith. Healing is a prominent theme throughout the Bible, with numerous stories illustrating miraculous healings performed by Jesus and his disciples. These accounts serve as a testament to the power of faith and the compassion of God towards his people. In the Old Testament, we see examples such as the healing of Naaman from leprosy by Elisha and the restoration of sight to the blind by prophets like Elijah. In the New Testament, Jesus heals the sick, raises the dead, and even instructs his followers to do the same in his name. These stories not only showcase God's ability to heal, but also highlight the importance of belief and trust in his divine power. By studying these biblical foundations of healing, we can gain a deeper understanding of our God-given right to be healed. The scriptures are replete with promises of divine health and restoration for those who seek God's intervention. Psalm 103 verse 3 affirms that God forgives all your iniquity, who heals all your diseases, emphasizing the comprehensive nature of God's healing power. As we meditate on these verses and reflect on the accounts of healing in the Bible, we are reminded that healing is not just a physical phenomenon, but a spiritual one as well. It is a manifestation of God's love and mercy towards his people, demonstrating his desire for wholeness and well-being in every aspect of our lives. Our faith plays a crucial role in accessing this God-given right to be healed. Throughout the Bible, we see that Jesus often connects healing with faith, telling those who seek healing, "Your faith has made you well." This highlights the inseparable link between faith and healing, emphasizing that our belief in God's power is essential for experiencing his miraculous touch in our lives. As we delve deeper into the understanding of healing through a biblical lens, we are encouraged to cultivate a strong faith that trusts in God's promises and relies on his provision for our physical, emotional, and spiritual restoration. In doing so, we can walk in the confidence that God is faithful to fulfill his word and bring healing to those who earnestly seek him. Throughout the Bible, we see a consistent theme of God's desire to bring healing to his people. In the Old Testament, we read about miraculous healings such as Naaman being cleansed of leprosy in the Jordan River and King Hezekiah being granted healing and a longer life. These stories showcase God's power and willingness to intervene in the lives of his children to bring about restoration and wholeness. Moving into the New Testament, we witness Jesus performing numerous healings, from restoring sight to the blind to curing the sick and even raising the dead. These acts of compassion not only demonstrate God's love, but also serve as a model for us to follow in seeking healing for ourselves and others. These biblical accounts of healing are not just historical events, but are living testimonies of God's continuous presence and involvement in our lives today. They remind us that God's nature is one of love, mercy, and compassion, and that He is always ready to extend His healing hand to those who call upon Him in faith. By studying and internalizing these stories, we can cultivate a deep trust in God's ability to bring about healing in all areas of our lives, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. This knowledge empowers us to approach God with confidence, knowing that His promises of healing are not limited to a specific time in history, but apply to us here and now. By anchoring ourselves in the biblical foundations of healing, we are equipped to navigate the challenges and struggles that come our way with faith and hope. We no longer have to view sickness, pain, or brokenness as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities for God to reveal His healing power and bring about transformation in our lives. As we align our beliefs with the truth that God desires wholeness and restoration for His children, we open ourselves up to experience the fullness of His healing touch. Let us embrace this God-given right to be healed, trusting in His unfailing love and provision to bring about miraculous healing and restoration in our lives and in the lives of those around us. Promises to meditate on. We are the descendants of Abraham. Your name will no longer be Abram, but Abraham, because I am making you the ancestor of many nations. Genesis 17, verse 5. God said to Abraham, "You also must agree to keep the covenant with me both, you and your descendants in future generations." Genesis 17, verse 9. You should realize, then, that the real descendants of Abraham are the people who have faith. The scripture predicted that God would put the Gentiles right with Himself through faith. And so, the scripture announced the good news to Abraham. Through you, God will bless all people. Abraham believed and was blessed. So, all who believe are blessed as he was. Galatians 3 verses 7 and 9. Lesson summary. In this lesson, we explored the biblical foundations of healing and delved into the understanding of our God-given right to be healed. The Bible is filled with accounts of miraculous healing and promises of divine health. Throughout the Bible, we see that God desires to bring healing to His people. From the Old Testament to the New Testament, we witness countless examples of physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. These stories serve as reminders of God's love and compassion for His children. We are studying scriptures to gain insight into the nature of healing and its relation to our faith. God's desire to bring healing to His people is shown throughout the Old and New Testaments. Examples of physical, emotional, and spiritual healing reflect God's love and compassion. Understanding these foundations empowers us to seek and receive divine healing for ourselves and others. The lesson also explores the crucial role faith plays in experiencing God's healing power. Faith is key in receiving healing, as seen in biblical accounts of miraculous healing. Examples of individuals in the Bible who received healing through their faith in God's ability to heal. Learning from these examples strengthens our faith and activates healing power in our lives. Key lesson concepts. Explore the biblical foundations of healing. Understand God's desire for healing in His people. Examine biblical accounts of miraculous healings. Discover the link between faith and healing. Learn from the faith of individuals in the Bible who received healing. Activate the power of healing through faith. We are the descendants of Abraham. Abraham's name changed to reflect becoming the ancestor of many nations. Genesis 17 verse 5. Agreement to keep the covenant for Abraham and his future descendants. Genesis 17 verse 9. Real descendants of Abraham are those who have faith, bringing blessings to all people. Galatians 3 verses 7 and 9. Peace and love.